Hi, the topic today is how to be highly effective. So we are focusing on perception because I said perception is everything. You see, how you perceive yourself determines what you can do in life. You see, but you cannot understand the importance of perception until you understand background. So I'm going to talk about background to enable you to have, the context. You see, it is essential we understand the context of everything. Look at it. If I say something now and you take it out of context, the meaning is useless. So for you to understand something, you have to put it along with the context. You have to put it in context. You put it with the background. So, but if you separate it, it becomes useless. So now, for you to understand perception, you have to understand this word, the background, the context. You see, the background is more important than even the topic we are going to talk about. So let's see now. Look at a fish. The background of a fish is water. So if you analyze it properly, you'll find out that water is more important than the fish. Now, if you remove the fish from water, the fish dies. So the same thing applies to our life. You see, God is your background. You cannot question, you cannot context this. If you separate yourself from God, you are dead. You have no meaning. You can't do anything. So that's why today I use background to explain our connection with perception. See, because if you don't understand this, you can't do anything. You see, perception is all about your psyche, how you perceive yourself, how you relate, how you feel about yourself. So now, for you to understand it, you have to go into what I'm calling the background. Like I said last time I did the video, I said, I'm going to start all my teaching. In fact, most of my teaching for more than 3 years now has been from this book. And this book, I'm going to use it now to illustrate most of the things. And whatever I'm going to speak about is inside this book. Now, this book, The Big R of a Successful Business, sets us the scene. The first chapter, it starts with the introduction. And the introduction is all about the background. So, because the background is critical. If you miss out on the background of everything or anything, you have lost the whole plot. The same thing applies to your life. So you can not understand anything, you can't do anything in life until you understand this concept I'm building up now. It's critical, it's very important. You pay attention. I hope you are paying attention. Now, your background, first and foremost, is that of God. Are you hearing me now? Your background is that of God. Now, if you fail to understand this, you can't be successful. You can't implement anything. You can't hold on to a vision and complete it. So this is how important the understanding of perception through background. Now, I'm using background to build up, to help you to understand what the importance of perception. Like I said, perception is everything. So your background is that of God. So even if you want to understand a statement somebody makes, if you separate the statement from the context, the meaning is off the roof. The meaning disappears. So that's why most people that read the Bible, they get it out of context. For you to understand something, you have to go inside the background, get the context. So it is critical. Now let's illustrate it with this. Look at the fish in the ocean. The background is the ocean. The background is the water. So now if you separate the water, if you separate the fish from the water, what happens? The fish dies. The same way, if you separate yourself from God, the same way you die. Even though you are living, but you are dead because you can't effectively do anything. So the same thing happens to the tree. If you separate the tree from the soil, it's dead. It is dead. The same thing happens with the bird. If you separate a bird from the air, it's dead. It can't fly. It's completely dead. So the air is the background. So the same thing happens to you. The same thing happens to you and I. Because the background tells more than even what we are talking about, than even the what you are considering. So in everything in life, you can't separate yourself from God. So I'm using this opportunity to usher you in this understanding that your background is that of God. And anybody that tells you your background is that of God, escape from the person, move away from him. Because if you separate anything, any living being or anything from its background is dead. So our background is that of God. So if you understand this, then you can move along. You see, the reason why people don't do anything is because they don't understand their background. You see, your background cancels everything you're going to do. Like now, most people say they don't have money. They need money for them to do something. They need to get a university degree. They need to get a particular assistance. They need to get a particular thing. The excuses are a lot in the world. Why people give a lot of excuses is because they don't understand this simple concept. Now, I'm taking time to explain it because I know the importance of it. And that is why in the big R of a successful business, I set it out as the introductory part, the background. You can see it from here. So it's all about telling you the basic thing in life. The basic thing in life is for you to understand that your background is that of God. And that gives you a proper perception. That gives you a proper footing in the world. But if you fail in this very first principle, all other principles, you will fail in all of them. So the reason why people don't achieve what they are expected to achieve, or they abandon their destiny or abandon their vision, is because they don't understand this simple concept I'm explaining this evening. Because until you understand this simple concept, you're not gonna achieve much. You'll be scampering at the periphery, and you'll be asking yourself, why am I not achieving? So, and anybody that plays a game with your background, that tries to work on your background or your psyche, kills you off. So you can think of anything, but if you haven't got the proper perception of yourself, it is very, very difficult to do anything. That is why people, when they start their vision or they start any project, halfway they give up. In fact, for you to start alone, you would think you need heaven and hell to do it. But it only takes simple understanding of this perception, simple understanding of your background. Because your background is that of God, and that cancels all the excuses you have in the whole world as why you cannot go after your vision, why you cannot go after your dream, why you cannot go after your goal, why you cannot go after your objective. It's because you don't understand this simple thing. So I'm making it out time to explain to you that your background is that of God. Let this sink into your mind. Let this sink into your head. Swallow it. That is a fact. You cannot separate yourself from God. If you're separating yourself from God, it's like a tree separating itself from the soil. It's like a fish separating itself from water. It's like a bird separating itself from the air. So this is critical. This is important. So now, when you understand that your background is that of God, that means you've won the battle. You've gotten more than 90% of the battle is won. I gave it 90%. I'm not giving it 50 or 70. I'm giving it 90% of the battle is won. Because the battle, 90% of the battle happens in the mind. Then the 10% is what's the practicality of it. So if you cannot conceive it effectively and solidly in your mind, you can't do it. You'll be afraid. I see people, they start up a project. Halfway, they escape. They run for their life. They start a vision. Halfway, they abandon it. They start everything. Halfway, they abandon it. They shortchange. They allow environments, other things around to, stifle them, to sniff off the gift they have. So this topic today will cancel all the excuses you have, the long list of excuses you have in your life why you cannot go after your vision, why you shake when you have responsibility, why you cannot step forward into your vision, why you cannot take a bold step into what you want to achieve, why you cannot be confident in life, why you cannot be bold to do what you want to do. So, you see, until you understand this mental strength, the mental capability of what I'm talking about, you cannot do anything. People talk about this as the mental strength. The mental strength depends on your perception of who you are. If you understand your background is that of God, tell me, is anything that is impossible for you? Nothing. Whatever you conceive today, you can achieve it. If you walk towards it, if you have the proper perception that you are a child of God, that God is your background. So people fell halfway because they separate themselves from God. God didn't create us to be isolated. It's like an aircraft that lost control, that separated itself from the control room. It's lost in the air. The same thing applies to you. The reason why you are not bold, you are not confident to do what you want to do is because you don't understand this simple principle. And I took a lot of time to write it in this big R of a successful business, because I know how critical it is. The first chapter, I talk about background. Because even if in a statement people are making, even if in an argument, even in the discussion, in the debates you have with people, what matters is the background. A lot of people pick something, pluck it from the background and run with it, and they lost on the way. You cannot separate a statement from its background, from its context. The context is essential. If somebody says something, on what context did that person say that? You need to understand the context in order to have meaning. Without the context, it doesn't make any meaning. The same thing happens to you. Without God in your life, you cannot do anything. You see, like I always tell people, your self-esteem comes from the image of God you have. Your self-esteem is the image of God you have. And their self-esteem is the image you have inside you that can give you the confidence. that can give you the courage. So I am saying today that you need to understand the perception. That's why they said if you are conquered in the mind, you've been conquered. If you are defeated, mentally you are defeated. So background is that of God. If you want to be a leader, you need to understand this concept. If you want to be successful, you need to understand this concept, because you can't do anything without understanding that your background is that of God. And if your background is that of God, then tell me what you cannot achieve. Now, if your background is that of God, why will you allow somebody to distort your view, or allow somebody to deviate, to move you away from the course you have already chosen to go along with? Now, if you understand that your background is that of God, then the physical background you're seeing does not make any meaning to you. You've defeated the whole obstacle along the way. So you cannot be successful or achieve something people thought was impossible if you don't understand this. Because if you understand that God is your background, then what people say no longer matter. Because people create an image of you and put it before you and remind you this image. Even though it's a lie, they keep on replaying it along with you. They keep on playing in your face till you swallow it, till it affects you psychologically. And then once it affects you psychologically, you are defeated. So to be highly successful, you need to have an image of God in your head. You need to have an image of God in your heart. Remember, the first thing God gave us when He created us, His own image. That image is the most powerful thing. And that comes in as a form of self-esteem. Because if you don't have a proper self-esteem, if you don't have a high self-esteem, you cannot be courageous. You can't have the confidence. Most people think you can get confidence by going to school or by doing this. It doesn't come. It doesn't follow. What gives you the confidence is the kind of image you have about yourself. And that image you have about yourself is about God. It is about self-confidence. It's about self-esteem. Now, if you miss out on this, you've lost the whole battle. So, self-confidence comes from self-esteem. And you cannot do anything without self-confidence. You need to be courageous. You need to be bold. You can't start a vision and sustain it to the end if you haven't got the image of God in you. Because time will come when the pressure will build up. Time will come when people will sway you like a wave in the ocean. They will come like a wave, try to move you away from your course. But if you have self-esteem, the image of God, you are always not straight away. You are not deviated. You can't deviate. People can bring up a propaganda against you. People can say a lot of things about you. But if you listen to them, then you are defeated. They move you away. Because people who are not going anywhere don't like people who are going somewhere. They will hate you. They will fight you. They don't want to listen to you. They build up a propaganda. They build up false information, lies against you, all in an attempt to move you away from the course you've chosen, from the destiny God has given to you. So, you see, the problem we have is that we always lose sight of our destiny. And once you lose sight of your destiny, you are lost. Here, you are unique, created to be distinct, wonderfully made, presented with the image of God, and then given a vision, given a destiny. But coming down here, the environment corrupts it. The environment snatches it away from you. And then tell you all sorts of stories. Tell you, 1, you came from a poor family. 2, you haven't got the money. 3, you are short. 4, you are not beautiful. 5, you can't do anything. 6, you didn't have degree. 7, you don't have this. 8, you don't have this. 9, you don't have this. All these things are all excuses. These are propaganda. These are information meant to destroy and weaken you. And once you are weakened, you've lost. You've melted in the background. You will be standing like this for 90 years without realizing that you are the engine of life. One moment. So I'm using this forum, this opportunity, to drum it across, to let you know that your background is that of God. And it is not the earthly background that fostered on you. Your background is not what you are seeing physically. It's the mental background. The mental background says God is your background. And if God is your background, tell me what you cannot achieve. Why do you resort to eat from the crumb? You see, why do you eat from the crumb that fell off the table? Why do you abandon your vision? Why do you abandon your culture? Why do you abandon your heritage? Why do you abandon your birthright? Now, if you are coming to me with a foreign birthright or foreign culture, how will I accept you? You see, if you're going to give me the same thing I have, what meaning does it mean? What is the importance? So, you're not going to make any meaning in my life. So, you need to come to me with something unique and different for me to really, appreciate you. And then the very thing that defines you, the very thing that makes you who you are, you abandon it and you put up a fake thing to represent you. That means you are building on false foundation. That means the foundation is not solid. That means it's going to fail. So it is important you understand this. Don't abandon your destiny. Don't abandon your vision. Don't abandon your dream. Look at people like Nelson Mandela. Look at people like John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther. These are people, they are people wrapped, they are vision, dream wrapped up and placed before us. They come in a human form, but they are vision. Look at the life of Nelson Mandela, for instance. Now, if you look at the Nelson Mandela as a vision, what have you to say about yourself? What lesson can you draw from this simple man with humble background? What lesson can you draw from this simple man with humble background that achieved what nobody has ever achieved? His life tells you clearly that you are vision, that your vision is not negotiable. If anybody tries to negotiate on your vision, tell the person clearly that no. I say it again. If somebody wants you to negotiate on your vision, say no. Because negotiation, a vision is non-negotiable. It is a no-go area. It is a point you don't dare negotiate. And in life today, that is the reverse of what we are seeing. 90% of people or 95% of people negotiate their vision. Look at Nelson Mandela. When he was in prison, he was threatened with imprisonment. He was put in jail. In fact, they tried to tell him to give up his vision so that they make him a president of South Africa. He refused. They tried to corrupt him that, look, we're going to give you the whole money in the universe for you to give up your vision. Nelson Mandela said no. They told him, look, we're going to give you, I'll get you out of prison, give you the whole thing, build the best house for you. Nelson Mandela said, look, my vision stance is non-negotiable. If you look at the life of the man, you'll be amazed what lesson you can draw from him. Such an outstanding man, such a fascinating man, such a man that grew up from a humble background to become the tallest person in the world. You see, look at Christ himself. At the temptation was a period the devil wanted to swell the feet of Christ, to get him out of the course, to get him out of the direction he was going. The devil tried 3 things to get Christ out of his vision. Christ told the devil, my vision is non-negotiable. It's like a birthright. It is non-negotiable. You don't negotiate on it because that is the purpose for which God has created you. That is your definition. That is who you are. And then why do you negotiate on this important thing? The devil first told him, look, I can convert this bread convert this stone into bread. What did Jesus Christ tell him? Look, man shall not live by bread alone. He took him to the pinnacle of the temple and promised him everything. Told him about power, told him about everything. Jesus Christ said. Told him to the high mountain, look, you tell him the wonders of the world, the most beautiful, the treasures of the world. Look, I'm going to give it to you. Jesus Christ said, you shall not tempt the Lord your God. Because Jesus Christ understands what the devil was about. So the same thing applies to us today. Most people abandon their vision because of car. They abandon their vision because of house. They abandon their vision because of children or having children. They abandon their vision because of, the pleasure of a beautiful woman or a beautiful house or a beautiful position. Because of that, you sold your birthright. You become Esau. People who sold their birthright are slaves. They have slave mentality. And once you have slave mentality, you are not going anywhere. That is why most of our leaders, they have slave mentality. They sell out on everything. They give out everything. They give out even their soul. Just because of a short-term gain. A short-term position, a short-term benefit. So how dare you negotiate on the most important thing, which is your vision? When people threaten you, you abandon your vision. When people present obstacle, they generate obstacle, challenge before you escape. So when you escape, you become like Esau. By the time you realize it, you've already sold it. You can't have it back. Time has gone. Esau typically demonstrated a man who sold his birthright. The man who sold his vision. The man who sold his dream. The man who sold his objectives and goals. So, this is why I'm making this video today to tell you, look, no matter the obstacle you face in front of you, don't negotiate your vision. Your vision is not negotiable. You cannot shortchange yourself by taking another route, by giving up your dream. Don't give up on your dream. Don't give up on your vision. No matter the level of obstacle, no matter how much they try to, pile up pressure, pile up obstacle, pile up list to heaven. Don't give up. your vision, because it is your vision that determines who you are. It is your DNA. You can't run away from it. You can't do anything without your vision. It is not everybody understands this. You don't need to go to school to understand this. You don't need to. It's not a rocket science. It's something you really need to have to put your head together and to assimilate, to allow and go into your body. Because there is nothing as powerful as vision. Your destiny is in your vision. So don't shortchange yourself. There is no amount of, a pretense or something somebody can bring to lure you, to a kind of something that you use to lure you so that you move away. People can talk what they like. People can sing what they like. People can buy anything on you. Don't give up your vision. Nelson Mandela never gave up his vision. Joseph never gave up his vision. David never gave up his vision. Christ never gave up his vision. Paul, the great apostle, never gave up his vision. So why are you giving up your vision? Why are you shortchanging yourself because of what people are saying? What are they going to say? They're going to tell you the universe, the society, or the society is built on the idea of frustrating you. The society is built on the idea of moving you from your vision. You see, they create a situation that is very difficult in order to control you. They naturally engineered a situation that is very critical, dangerous, in order to sway you away from your vision. But you don't know this. They work, and anything that is in favor of your vision is what they work against. They never taught you, look, you are capable of creating a job instead of every day you're looking for a job. They don't tell you that you need to use your intuition to judge things and be productive. The reason why we have poverty today is because people refuse to be productive. You see, poverty is as a result of is a result of not producing anything, lack of productivity. You have all the whole body, your mind, all the whole creativity in the world, yet you cannot produce. You see, you are inside the water, but you don't have water to drink. You lack water while you are in ocean. You lack wealth while you are in ocean of wealth. Is it not high time you sit back and ask yourself a question? Why am I lacking? What is making me to believe I don't have? You are in the ocean, yet you don't have water to drink. It's because you don't want to produce anything. It's because the society has made you and gave you a false background. And this false background has made you not to move. They said it's no longer important now to change people. The only way to change people now is changing them mentally by telling them lies and continuously telling them lies, and they believe in it and they change themselves. This is the society we are in now. The society currently change you, but you don't see it. They change you mentally by selling a story that is not truth, that has no truth in it. They tell you a story that is full of lies, and they keep on saying it, repeating it, and you swallow it and you believe it, and that keeps you down. No matter what somebody said, you are down. It's the perception you have about yourself. What perception do you have about yourself? Do you have yourself as a son of God, as a child of God, wonderfully made? So why do you allow people to shortchange you? Why do you allow people to, shortchange in terms of moving away from your vision? I have demonstrated to you today. Look at Nelson Mandela. He was born from a humble family, yet he achieved what nobody could achieve. Look at Muhammad Ali, all the great people. Because they understand simple thing, their backgrounds. You can't separate yourself from God. Even though the society is telling you to separate yourself from God. The creation, everything in creation tells you contrary to what the society is teaching you. The society is teaching you that you are from ape, you are animal. And that's why we behave like animals. They swallow it, they say it's evolution, they tell you all this rubbish stuff. And you swallow it and you believe it. It is critical, friends. It's critical for you to understand this. Your background is that of God. And that is what builds your perception. What is your perception? How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as a poor person languishing in a slummy area? Do you see yourself as somebody who is born from a poor background? This is pure nonsense. Your background is that of God. Your background is of God. So the physical background the society fostered on you is a false one. And that is, they use it to keep you down. They tell you, look, you need to get a degree in order to express yourself. You need to have money in order to express yourself. When you have money already, you have all the knowledge in the world. You have all the intuition in the world to tell you what to do. And you are languishing in an island and begging for a crumb of food. It's a shame. I'm meant to teach you that, look, rise up from the dust. You are not dust. You are a child of God, wonderfully made. God made you in his own form, gave you everything, gave you his image to operate on. Once you have the image of God, you don't need anything. The background, they said, it is your background is nonsense, is rubbish. They tell you this story to keep you down, to make you a servant and slave forever. And you'll be serving people forever in your life and never for one day to realize that, look, you have the engine to do things. You have the creativity, you have the intuition. They said the thought of a righteous man is accurate, is like the thought of God. You have all this personality, you have all these things, yet you are hungry. Yet you can't feed yourself. Yet you are sick. Yet you can't do anything. Because the society has succeeded in selling to you a false story. Selling to you lies. And that lies kept you down forever. You don't need education to do anything in life. You don't need a university degree to do anything. You don't need money to start off your business. You don't need, you don't have to be from the royal family to be effective, to impact on your society. The impact you can make in society is in your The impact you are making is in your mind. So why do you allow people to run your mind for you? How do you allow people to run your life for you by telling you a false information? By telling you wrong information and you build on it and you remain there and you stay there forever. One moment. Sorry for the interruption. So I'm here to tell you, look, perception is everything. Perception is your power. So if you have a wrong perception of yourself, you can't do anything. If you have a wrong perception of yourself, when you see challenges, you escape. If you have a wrong perception of yourself, when you see obstacles, you escape. So how can you escape from something that will help you reach your destiny? If I encounter any obstacle in my life, I'm always happy because that obstacle leads me to my destiny. So why am I afraid of tackling something that will lead me to my destiny? So why will I be afraid of tackling a challenge that lead me to who I want to become? When I see challenge on my way, it attracts me. It's like a magnet. I go after it. I know I won't be defeated. Because nothing defeats a man who believes in God. Nothing defeats a man who has the perception God left in him. Nothing defeats a man who has self-image of God. So why do you run away from an obstacle or a challenge that leads you to your destiny? Why do you run away from a challenge that leads you to your vision? Why are you afraid? Why are you afraid in this world? The fear you create about anything, the thing you're afraid of, is something that leads you to be successful, and you are running away from it. Something that will help you to, is like a ladder that helps you to go to your destiny and your vision. You are running away from it. So if this video will lead me to be successful, why am I afraid to do it? Why do I have to think twice and be scared or afraid or become afraid of something that can lead me to success? They said the world is an open door. The world is an open door. It's in your hand. Don't be afraid of anything in life, because what you are afraid of is what will make you. The very thing you are afraid of is what will make you. So why you are running away from something that will make you? It's just like a person running away from God. You see, a lot of people, they run away from God, something that will make you. I look at people, then when they face obstacles, they run away. When they face challenges, they run away. So something that will make you, and then you are escaping from it. It doesn't sound fine. It makes us look as if we are cheap, but we're not cheap. We are created in the image of God. God has given us himself. God created us to become like him. Believe it or not. You are a child of God. You are wonderfully made. God has given you his image. I am telling you, there is no obstacle you can't overcome. So that is why this book is necessary. Because this big hour will now change your psyche, change the way you think, change your mindset, and change your perception about yourself and about things around you. Don't be afraid of anything in life, because the very thing you're afraid of is something that will make you. Some people are afraid of God. God is one that makes you, and you're afraid of him. So don't be afraid of facing up your challenges. Take up your responsibilities, and then you succeed. I will keep on drumming it till it goes into your head. If you think I'm going to stop this video, you are telling yourself the truth, the lies, sorry. If you think I'm going to stop this video, it's a lie. I keep on doing it till you come to the realization that, look, God has made you God, that you are capable of solving all your problems. I am created to tell you that you are capable of solving every problem all the way. If you face obstacle, you have to do like this and be very strong, be bold, and be courageous. No matter the level of challenges they keep on piling on your head, keep on going, keep on going. You will overcome it, because spiritually you are God. You are God, but living inside a human body, living in the body. And the devil has sold to you, and the society, they have all sold to you lies that you cannot do anything. The first call you, oh, you came from a poor family. Oh, you came from this. Oh, you come from this. Oh, you come from this, blah, 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 all these stories. I don't give a damn about these stories. My background is that of God, and that gave me the self-confidence, and that gave me the self-esteem I have. The image of God is inside me, and it's also inside you. And that's what gives you the confidence to ride away from any obstacle. First of all, you need to have this self-image of God inside you, which are called self-esteem. Then the self-esteem gives rise to confidence. And then you have to get the courage to be able to say it without fearing because this is who you are. Everybody, fears. But it depends on how you face it. We don't be ashamed of fear. It depends on how you take it up. So whether you like it or not, I'm going to keep on telling this to you that, look, you are created in the image of God and you are capable of solving every problem. Don't accept what the society fostered on you. They fostered on you that you are from a poor background. You are not educated. You are not tall. You are not handsome. You are not this. These things are rubbish. Your background cancels any limitation you are thinking of. Your background cancels limitation that can stop you from realizing your vision. David that realized his own didn't come from a royal family. Nelson Mandela didn't come from, Martin Luther King didn't come from. All of these are humble people that had humble background. That is the origin of things. See, so if you can't see your future right now, you are losing the plot. Though you might come from a humble background, but that does not mean you are not a giant. So release the creativity inside you and let the world rejoice. Release the knowledge inside you and let the world rejoice. God brought us here, gave us once in a lifetime opportunity to come into this universe, to change it according to the vision he gave us. And we are here languishing, crying, waiting for help. Where is the help going to come from? Why are you always looking for help when God is there with you? When you have the image of God. This is a wrong perception. That's why I said perception is everything. How do you perceive yourself? Do you perceive yourself as somebody subhuman? Do you perceive yourself as somebody who cannot do anything? You have all the whole knowledge, all the technology, all the whole thing in your head, yet you have a wrong perception of yourself. Perception is everything. So if you want to change the way you think, you need to start reading. You need to search yourself. You see, nobody puts chain anymore in you. It's you that is putting chain in yourself by not developing your mind, by not developing yourself. So I wrote this book specifically to help people to develop themselves, to understand their background, to understand their self-esteem, to understand what gives you confidence and courage to do anything. I see people, they run away from obstacles that will make them who they want to become. When you see a challenge, you run away from it. Meanwhile, the challenge is there to make you great. Challenge is there to make you successful. Challenge is there to help you to rise and soar to the sky. And you're running away from it. So how do you want to do it? You run away from your responsibility, the very thing that is essential that will make you go high. You need to change the way you think. You need to change your perception. You need to start reading. It's important. Don't allow what the world fostered on you they keep on telling you lies and lies and lies, and you kept on believing it. So the way to keep people in chain is to tell them lies and keep on telling them lies, and they kept on believing it, and then they find themselves down. They never rise. They never rise to become who God created them to be. They abandon their vision. They shortchange their vision. They shortchange their destiny. Your destiny has already been completed. God wants you to, in fact, we are following the footprint of God. Your destiny is already the footprint. You just have to follow it. It's already determined by God. It's just for you to carry it all. So don't run away when you see challenges. The thing you are running away is what makes you great. Take up responsibility and change your perception. Thank you.